The iPhone 12 mini. Really been so curious about this new iPhone because I've been pining for smaller phones to fit my smaller hands. And now it's here. Let's see if this small phone hits big. Good day, you beautiful people. Welcome to LAZADA's Tech, where we do tech in your life in style. In this video, we're finally opening up the iPhone 12 mini. Super excited about this iPhone, particularly because it's the smallest iPhone in recent times. But another thing is that it comes in an equally smaller box. Let's not dilly-dally, let's get to the unboxing. Right, okay, here we go. And because I know you guys will ask, I did get this phone from Breeze Authentics. You can check them out here. And yes, they have legit, original, actual iPhones. Here we go. Okay, wait. This might just be a better setup because it's a tiny box. That's it. So here we are, we have the iPhone 12 mini. Let's set that aside, and we have lightning cord. That's a USB-C to lightning. We have this, which houses the zip eject tool and an Apple sticker. We also have some tiny paperwork, and I know we're not gonna read that ever, so I'm not gonna hate on the fact that it's tiny. And that is it, folks. I told you it was a tiny box. I mean, it's so tiny that if I pack it up and put it together and give you an iPhone 5S box and an iPhone 5 box, which we all know are notoriously tiny phones, they are almost the same size. The iPhone 12 is just a little longer and a little thicker, and actually even way thinner than these two tiny phone boxes. Lol, okay, so this is now the thinner box with no power brick. Thankfully, we have a power cord on here because we all know that these iPhone cords disintegrate with use, and there's just absolutely no way we'd have older cords just randomly lying around in our houses, because they'd all be in shambles if you've ever used this, if you've ever owned them. Though I'm honestly not sure how I feel about taking out that power brick. Like, yes to less e-waste, but that's also more cost to consumers when they buy a new iPhone, because then they probably need to buy a new brick. I honestly haven't made up my mind about this whole thing. Anyway, let's get to the phone. Okay, I still cannot believe how tiny this thing is. It's so tiny, it fits my hand perfectly. I can reach all the corners of this phone with one hand. It fits girl jean pockets well, and it even fits tiny purses. It's tinier than the iPhone 6, but a little bigger than the iPhone 5, which we've dubbed as last of the tinier iPhones. And yeah, don't ask me what happened to this 5. It's broken, it's old. I got the white version because they didn't have a purple one this year, which is what I would have loved. And I didn't really like that blue one. It reminded me way too much of blue nail polish. Thankfully, iPhones always have the cutest cases and accessories. Yes, I do have a couple of cute case haul videos on the channel. Check it. The sides on this thing are flat, like they're really flat, and I was a big fan of this old design, so I'm happy to see it come back. Yes, I know what you're thinking. This phone does stand by itself. We see a teeny camera bump and those two cameras here. We see the power button. On the other side, we see the silent switch. We see volume buttons, and SIM tray is over here. And this is the bottom. Right, moment of truth. Let's take this off. Ooh. Setup is quite easy. You have the option to copy stuff from an old iPhone. Like, it's really easy. There'll be a prompt. You scan your new phone with your old phone, and then you wait. It just does it for you. Except this iPhone 12 mini I got is the smallest 64 gig configuration, so it couldn't fit all the stuff in my 128 gig iPhone 11. So yeah, let that be a lesson for you guys. 64 gig is never enough. Opt for the bigger one. I'd actually suggest getting more than 128 gig. Anyway, I set up my phone as new and we good. Now, as tiny as this thing is, because it is only that notch and really tiny bezels, it has a way bigger screen than both iPhone models 6 and 5. Of course, compared to last year's iPhone 11 though, it's gonna have a smaller screen, but I mean, look at that size difference too. And yes, I did say notch, Apple has not gotten rid of that. Also, there's still no fingerprint scanner. Yes, Android users, Apple did get rid of that fingerprint scanner a few iPhones back. And no, they haven't put it back, even if it actually has proved useful in today's mask-wearing world. So one last thing about this phone is that the back has wireless charging, but not just any wireless charging. There is now MagSafe charging on this phone, meaning there is a new charger that has a magnet that sticks to this and it charges that, and a whole lot of other magnetic accessories. But I don't have any of those magnetic accessories. What I do have are paper clips, and these paper clips will prove my point. Like so. As you can see here, I am putting them on the phone and yep, that is how those MagSafe accessories work. Right, on to the montage. Here we go, time for the camera tour, but first let's appreciate how nice and well fitted this is to my tinier hands. Right, and that was the face unlock for you. This phone of course runs on iOS 14 and we now have widgets. Yes, Apple people have widgets now. Let's go to the camera. Hey, so this main shooter does a wide, ooh, look at my really nice long legs. And then it zooms up until 5x. And this is the zoomiest of zooms. Up here we have flash settings, and then you can swipe up and it gives you again the flash settings. It gives you live auto on off for live images, live photos, and then you have photo sizes. What is this? Ooh, exposure mode. You also have some different filters. Right, so you see that icon over there, that is the night mode, and that's sort of automatic on iPhones. Basically, it shows up when it detects that your image is too dark, and it disappears when it's like, nah, you have enough light. You can also still adjust that, but only up until like the levels that the phone deem you need. Also on this photo mode, if you press and hold the shutter, it will take a short video, and that's nice. I like that because sometimes I like shooting quick videos and I fumble and try to find the right settings, and then the moment's over, and yeah. You have portrait mode on the right, so let's continue. My back is now blurred, that is bokeh for you. You have natural lighting, studio light, contour light, stage light, ooh, that's sort of freaky. You have stage light mono and high key light mono. Up here, flash settings, you have the same settings here. Ooh, you have blur settings, so that's an aperture of 1.4 up until an aperture of 16. And photography tip, the bigger, I think, yeah, this confuses me. Okay, the bigger the opening, the smaller the number, the blurrier the background, and the bigger the number, the smaller the opening, the less blur you get. And you also have the different filters here. You have timer settings, you have exposure settings, and of course the flash settings. And then on the right of that is a pano mode, 1x wide, 1x, and can you zoom? No zooming on pano mode. On the other side, we are given video mode, ooh, wide, 1x. Can we zoom? Yes, indeed, up until 5x zoom. And then it gives us shooting settings, so you can do 60 or 30 FPS and up until 4K, and you can do 60 on 4K. Nice! Flash settings, and then we have slow-mo settings, 1x wide, and we can zoom up until 1.5x. Here you can shoot in HD and 240 FPS. You can do 120 as well. Yeah, 120 and 240 and HD. Of course, you also have flash settings here, and then over here, time-lapse mode 0.5, 1 up until 1. Exposure settings, and that is all. Right, onto the selfies. So you have time-lapse selfie, exposure settings, and then slow-mo selfie. You can do up until, okay, that's not tapping, I think 120 FPS then on HD. And then on video, we can do 4K 60 front-facing selfie. Nice! You have the photo mode, wide selfie, normal selfie, wide selfie, normal selfie. Flash settings, the night mode. So yes, there is night mode for selfie video, no photo I mean. And you have live photos on selfie as well. There is no beauty mode on the iPhone still. And you know, I always say you shouldn't use the beauty mode to hide the real you, but it's a handy tool to have if you use it just to enhance yourself, like makeup and stuff like that. So I will miss that, and I always miss that on iPhones. You have a portrait mode on selfie, so the different portrait lighting settings. You have the different aperture settings, so that's an aperture of 16 to 1.4, and then you have flash settings as well, exposure mode, timer, and the different filters. And finally, oh wait, no, that was the finally. This is pano, and there's seems to be no selfie mode, so portrait mode. Yeah, that was, ooh, that's a really nice portrait mode. Look at the blur. But yeah, that was our quick camera tour. Here are some sample shots. Wait, by the way, before we go, do you see that light? That's a new thing on iOS 14 where it tells you when your camera is being used. So right now, we have the camera on, that light, it's on. But if we exit, it goes away. Pretty nifty, pretty useful security feature. Right, okay, samples. And that was our unboxing and first look at the iPhone 12 mini. Absolutely loving the size. I am all for this form factor. Although I have to point out that I don't necessarily think this is new. Like I showed you guys, it looks eerily similar to the iPhone 5 or the iPhone 5S. Not complaining though, because I like those phones. Let me know what you guys think about this phone in the comment section down below. I will be doing a vlog test on this. Is that something you'd want to watch? Right. If you want to see how I use my tech on a daily basis, find me online. That's at @isadoes_. That's Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Until next time.